Ron and Tommy of Coroner. Welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you guys doing today?
Great. Bit jet laggy, but
so you just flew in from Switzerland, I believe, right?
Yes.
How was your flight?
Long.
Okay. How is America looking after 30 years of not being here?
We didn't that much see, but quite the same.
Okay.
As 30 years ago. Yeah.
Glad to see that you're finding some similar things that you left behind. But let's talk about Coroner. When did Coroner initially form?
There was a band before, but they just had the same name, and Marky played in it. And we founded the band April 1st, 1985, yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Now,
kind of an April joke.
Yeah.
your first demo, you want to show it? Death Code. This was a very popular demo all over the underground. What can you tell me about this?
We did that. That was the start. Actually, really short after we founded the band, we recorded this with Tom G. Warrior on vocals. And after this, we went. Marky and we went on tour with Celtic Frost as roadies. And then we, every interview Tom did with somebody, we gave him a tape of this.
Mm-hmm.
No CDs back then, though.
That's right. It was a cassette.
It was a cassette, yeah.
Ron, how come Tom G. Warrior sang on that tape when you're the vocalist of the band?
Yeah, I wasn't the vocalist at that time because we were looking for a singer. We wanted to have a real singer in the band. And after the demo, I heard Tom's voice and singing. I thought, maybe I can try it and can sing as well as he do. So I tried it, and
yeah, we couldn't find a singer back then, and then Tom helped us out. He did a great job in the studio, and he helped us a lot. Mm-hmm. And but after the recording, Ron thought, I can't do that, you know.
Yep. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I copy a little bit. I think, but now I found my own style, I guess.
Well, I think you found your style a long time ago.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
I agree.
Yeah,
first album, Rest in Peace. Let's show that, and let's get back to what memories do you have from that time? This is what, 1988, 1989, I believe, right?
1987.
87 even, okay.
Yeah, first time we went to Berlin, Germany.
And you signed with Noise Records, right?
We signed with Noise Records, and
I remember we had a budget for 12,000 Deutschmarks and maybe 70 days, and it took
17 days.
Yeah, 17 days.
Yeah, of course there's a lot of notes. We played a lot of notes on this album, so it took a bit longer. We spent 20,000.
Yeah, about twice as much. Maybe 31 days.
The record company wasn't very amused then, but came out great. Probably we played a bit over or on the edge what we could play. So the sound isn't that great on this album for my taste, but it's not the engineer's fault. Harris Jones, he did a great job. I think the playing is not flawless on this for me, but still a lot of people think that's the best album we did.
Wow. Were you able to tour for this album at all, for Rest in Peace?
Not really, just a few shows, small tours, 4 shows in Italy and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 shows with Motorhead on a festival.
Yes.
Christmas festival.
So even though you didn't tour, I think you were busy writing some good songs, right? And Punishment for Decadence was definitely a huge improvement, at least in my book. How do you feel about that record?
Okay. Yeah, we after first shows we found out what works live and what not, because it's not always the case that stuff that works in the studio works as well in a club, you know. So, but we didn't change that much the style on that one.
I believe you just refined your style.
Yeah, maybe, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but it was a bit more jazzy because Tommy made the jazz school.
That's
the first
that's
album.
true. After RIP, I went to the jazz school, jazz conservatory in Switzerland, and they actually gave me names for stuff I already did, but I was able to understand the whole concept
of music
way better. Mm-hmm. Because here I just played with my ear. I always play with my ear, but sometimes it helps if you check how everything works.
Now, as far as live, were you able to take your show on the road at this point?
A big tour, I can't remember. Definitely not America, that comes later.
Mm-hmm. Maybe European tour after Germany and Netherlands, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Could be. And I want to note this is not the original cover.
Yes, this is not.
So this is not the original cover.
No.
What is the original cover?
This original cover is a pic of
Hellgate of Auguste Broder. He's an artist from France. Yeah.
And the record company thought it's not metal enough, so they choose this design. That's our design as well, but it was supposed to be just a motif for a T-shirt. And we hated it. Now it's
a classic.
Oh, the tour manager is calling. I have to pick it up real quick. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Martin, wir sind mitten.
So we are back here, and next comes No More Color. Many feel this is your breaking point, and maybe at the time it was. What do you feel?
I agree. I totally agree. It was what I said before with when you learn what works live. Play just fast all the time and complicated is maybe not that great, and I think we started to play a little bit more groove oriented, not only a lot of notes. I still like this.
Me too.
What can you tell me about the songs on No More Color?
I like the songs very well, but I thought it was getting better on each record.
It was,
and especially the production is much better on this album.
Yes, this is production-wise the first one we've been happy back then.
And I believe this is the first album that brought you to the United States back in 1989.
Yes,
I believe.
mix we recorded in Berlin, the same studio as Punishment, but we went to Florida to mix. Actually, we were supposed to mix with Dan Johnson, but he was tired all the time. I don't know what happened. He had a daytime job and came into the studio to mix and then fell asleep. So I mixed the album together with Scott Burns, who was the studio assistant at the time, and now is a really well-known producer. He did all the big death metal bands in Florida, and Scott Burns
mixed it.
Did that, yes.
Ron,
very nice.
What do you remember from your first United States tour back in '89?
I remember it was stressy. Everything was new for me. We were 30 people in one nightliner, and it was very tight, everything.
Yeah, and it was a lot of partying going
Yeah.
on, and that was not
Oh, I know. I was part of it. So
Too much sleep.
was not that healthy.
But it was a great time. Yeah.
excellent. You went on, and your next album was Mental Vortex.
Yes.
Right? You want to show that and recall
that
what?
one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's how it looks.
So then we worked with Tom Morris, who is the owner of Morris Sound Studio. He came to Berlin, and then we did a pre-production with him in a rehearsal room, and then we went to the studio, same studio. But Tom really produced. He made inputs for the songs, arrangements and stuff. And I think that sounds better, even better than Normal Color.
Yep. Ron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he brought the idea for the cover version for Beatles we made on this record. As Tommy said, he really produced and brought some ideas. I think it's the following of No More Color, the logical following, and there is many good songs as well on it, and it was a step more forwards. Yeah.
Also, for this album, you came back to the United States as a headliner, right? What was that like?
Yes, which tour was that?
That was with, I believe, Atrophy. Was it Atrophy and 4th Century?
No.
Thank you.
Oh, so was it?
First century, I guess. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you were headliner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Maybe you were changing, but when I saw you, you were the last
You
band.
were perfectly right.
I saw 2 shows on that tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was it like to finally be in charge of your own destiny?
That was a special tour because we didn't have a nightliner like usual, because it was more like a low budget tour. But actually for me it was the most fun. We had an RV, and Louis, the guitar tech, he
drove it?
He drove, and the soundman drove, and he was more flexible, you know. And when we saw something, oh, it looks really cool there, let's make a break and
So a lot of
see what's
sightseeing.
there. And yeah, you know, and like spontaneous sightseeing, not like with a nightliner. You can't do this, you know, it's not possible. So I really enjoyed that one.
Although
Right.
I thought it was the tour with Nuclear Assault and with Atrophy and 4th Century we had a nightliner actually, I guess. It was with Gloria and Atrophy, yes. She was.
Hey man, it's so hard to remember
Yeah,
all
I know.
this after all
Trust
this
me,
time.
if Gloria was there, things were taken care of.
Yeah,
This much I can guarantee.
yeah.
Excellent. So next comes Grin.
Grin,
Yes. So let's show Grin and see what we can grin about.
Yes, we recorded that one in Switzerland, actually with a Swiss producer, with Foco Fopa, and actually he started, and he and myself, we wanted to record the best sounding thrash metal album of all times, you know, but we overdid it maybe a little bit, so we took a long time, and when the record company found out that we only recorded like the basics when we already should have been finished, it was hard, and they fired the producer. It wasn't his fault, maybe a little bit, it was also my fault or our fault. And then what was his name? Just a sound engineer came to record the rest.
Wolfley.
Gerhard Wolfley, yeah, right. He just came from sound engineer school, and he did a great job, like technically recorded, but it was hard for him because it's not a lot of 4/4 rhythms on it to make punch-ins and stuff. So I remember I punched a lot for the bass recording, and Ron punched my stuff in, because it's kind of difficult if you're not a musician to learn these rhythms really quick.
How was Grin received by the fans?
I was very well. I guess it came on very well. Yeah, the fans liked it. It was different to the albums before, but maybe there were more fans after this.
Yes, maybe the ones they preferred the first album, they didn't like it that much, I guess. But you know, we always did our stuff, but of course we were influenced from what's going on at the moment. And at this time, the techno scene in Switzerland was really huge, and we went to those parties, and we liked some elements in it, you know. And I think that you can, if you know that, you can hear it in this.
Definitely.
A little bit industrial influence.
Yes, industrial, techno.
Up until this time, how would you say the music of Coroner was changing?
It went from very complicated on RIP, like too many notes, to more song-oriented, but still complex, but maybe more complex on a feel side, not just technical, more like musical, more deep for me. Yeah.
And now comes the last album so far. You wanna show it?
Yes.
Introduce it? This is?
One is just called Coroner.
Yep, self-titled.
And the thing with this is actually we broke up after Grin. But then I had to go on tour with a really huge Swiss-French singer-songwriter, and to record a live album. But the record contract said we had to do another album, but the band already break up. So we had to fight with the record company, and we agreed on a best of album with 3 or 4 new songs
to fulfill the record
that's it.
deal.
It's not those new songs are maybe not a band thing, you know, because this stuff we wrote together, the music. This new stuff, I think I wrote that alone in my home with my computer, if I remember correct. And Ron and Mark just did their thing over it.
Why did the band break up in the first place? What was the initial cause?
Yeah, because it was a kind of stagnation. Maybe Marky or Tommy as well wanted to make something new, and I guess for Marky it was too much the recording on Grin.
Yeah, we really had a hard time to record it because we really went for perfection on this one, and and I think the main reason was after 12 years, we just wanted to play with other musicians, try different stuff. It's like you don't marry your first girlfriend. You wanna try different pussy first. No?
And we didn't break up. It was only a break for 15 years now. But after Tommy came back and formed.
Eventually you came back
again. Yeah.
But what were you guys doing during this downtime? Were you doing things musically when Coroner was not around?
Yeah, after this I played with Stefan Eicher. He sells millions of records. And then I joined Creator.
Yes.
And I was there for about 4 years, and I have my recording studio. I produce a lot of bands, and I did like the last 4 or 5 albums from Elveti, and a lot of other stuff.
Ron, what about you? What did you do when Coroner was not a band?
Yeah, I went back to my original profession. Found a new job and I'm still there
And
since 20
what is your
years now.
profession, if it's not a secret?
Yeah, I learned electromechanic.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I work with locks and keys and assemble some door access systems.
Yeah, like the complicated ones for
Yeah, with
stuff
electronic
for banks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I already asked for the key for the bank, but he.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna make one.
Now,
No.
Coroner came back. What caused the band to reunite?
Yeah, mostly
Fans, yeah.
on the internet. You know, it was like a lot of other musicians, guitar players and bass players learned our stuff, and like on YouTube, it was like, okay, these young people, they learn our old shit, and yeah, we were really surprised that people are still interested after like 30 years what we did back then, and then of course like offers came in from big festivals, and we got money as well. You know, that was it's a part of the thing, to be honest, and then we started and we liked it, and so it's almost 10 years ago we started that. We're still doing it.
One thing that you said that totally makes sense. I mean, Coroner is one of those few bands that musicians love. I mean, you'd be surprised how many Coroner T-shirts I had seen musicians from other bands wear over the years.
Okay.
So is that something that you also see commonly?
Yes, we always wear more a musician's band than a fan band, I guess. Which is good and bad, whatever. It is what it is. It's great that other musicians like what we do, and that's a great honor. You know?
Speaking of your catalog, are those albums still available? Do you have rights to them? How does that work?
Yes, that's complicated.
I'm sure it is, with Noise
Yeah.
being your label.
Yes. Now we're signed with Sony. And Sony Century Media, and I think the first 4 albums
I can't remember. Yeah.
they are reissued with, it's complicated. 3 are from reissued from Sony, 1 from Universal, and these 2 still. This one isn't available, I guess. I'm not sure, even on Spotify. This is not on Spotify, I guess. So, yeah, whatever. We have to write a new album anyway.
We'll get to that. When you came back, it was the initial 3 members with Mark Kadzielawa on drums.
Yes.
Eventually, he left the band. What happened? I mean, he was so involved in Coroner. I mean, he was the mouthpiece of the band for many years.
Totally. Yeah. He was really important for the band.
I mean, the interviews I've done in the past were always with him, and all of a sudden he's gone. So what happened?
He had just enough, you know. He has family now, kids and stuff, and like after 4 years or 3 years reunion, he thought it's enough, and actually we two thought, hey, it would be great maybe to do another album, and Mark didn't agree with that, and yeah, it was just. I mean, we're still like best friends, you know, and he was just like, hey, for me it was great, you know, but now it's okay for me to stop. I want to do another band, and he has a new band now. It's called Tarpons. Great fucking band. I love it. I produced it, recorded it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's still a nice guy. But after the success we had on these 3-4 festivals, Tommy and me decided to go on with the band, and maybe Marky remembered to the recording on Green.
Yeah, might be.
So who's the new drummer? I mean, and how do you become a new drummer for Coroner after so many years with Marky?
Yeah, it's Diego Rapacchietti. I know him for a long time. Actually, Ron knows him longer than I do.
I saw him.
But I had him a lot in the studio for session jobs. Like every style, he can play every style of music. And my ex-wife's band 69 Chambers, he played the drums there. And then I joined 69 Chambers, so we played together already. And yeah, like from the first time on I played with him, it was this special connection, you know, that either you have it or not. So for me it was clear that he's gonna be the new drummer. And but I mean, Ron has to agree as well. Had to agree as well. But I think we played one time, and then for you it was clear as well.
Everything was clear. I was skeptical a little bit on the beginning because I didn't know he's playing, and he wanted to have another man with a bald head.
Another skinhead.
Yeah, another skinhead. So maybe
Solidarity.
fans think we are a fascist band. No,
Which you're not.
It was really clear. He's the best drummer I can vorstellen.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Finally, will there be new music, new album?
Yes. I know. I mean, we promised that for years now.
Well, now you're gonna promise on film.
Yeah. And yeah, people already make jokes about it. I totally understand. But you know, sometimes life is difficult, and but we actually started the recording. We started recording drums. 6 songs are recorded, and 2 more songs are ready, but 1 part is missing, and then we have to write another one, and then we hit the studio and record it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Ram, how do you feel about the new material that's coming up?
Yeah, great. It makes fun. It's really funny to play new songs and put it together and produce the thing. But it takes time because our B-side jobs, you know, we have 100% jobs or even more, and that's the reason why it takes so long.
Cool.
You know, if somebody gave us like a lot of money, so now you have half a year, just make the album, then it would be finished a long time ago. But you know, I mean, I'm a record producer. I record bands the whole day. After like 9 hours of recording a band, you can't go home and write a song. It's just not possible. You know, it's.
I get it.
The creativity is all gone during the day, and yeah, that's. Yeah, but you know, it's good things will take time. You know.
True. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.